Professor James Nana Ukwajima, Madam Chairperson, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Madam Chairperson, I'd like to share.
You can arrest you for buying a book. You know the guy has been questioning about something, so let's be careful. Can I have the Vice President? I want to just check the Vice President home. I don't want to check. But I think it's a very good standard has been set. People are now afraid of corruption. So
special guest who came on time, and we would have to finish quickly so she can attend to other duties. So please rise and welcome Her Excellency, the Vice President, Professor Nana Ukwajima, to bring us her remarks and also do the official launch of the book. Please put your hands together for her.
School. So it is a document that challenges all of us to carry this vision forward. Let us be inspired by his examples and follow them. Let us eschew mediocrity and strive for excellence and to work for the greater good of our nation. Let us remind ourselves that Ephraim Amu's music builds us, protects us, develops us. His sermons stir within us a renewed commitment to integrity, to faith, to sacrifice, and to service. It is again a call to action. The action that urges us to reject corruption, embrace self-reliance, prioritize national development. And I want to encourage all of us, including myself, and our youth who are the leaders now and tomorrow, please read the book. You will not find this on WhatsApp. Not that I have anything against WhatsApp. I use it too. But I know it has its limitations. I used to ask my students, have you seen yourself on Google? What of you is on Google? Who is putting that information together? Because information is never innocent. So let's not be happy with what others think we are, but be happy with what we can be. And we can be bold in our convictions, stand firm to what is right, even what is not popular. It's not about popularity and noise making. It's about leaving a legacy that is worthy of celebration, as Ephraim Amu has left us. And now I have the greatest pride and responsibility to declare this book, which is a source that leads to enlightened minds, renewal of much needed sense of national purpose, a compass for all of us, young and old, titled Ephraim Amu, nationalist poet and theologian. Was born 1899 and passed on 1995. And I'm very happy and privileged to declare the book duly launched. For a number of years before I went to secondary school. So we are all in this together, if possible. And it's very important always to recognize them and even to, I say Professor Adaimesa too. And even to acknowledge their efforts too. Because without them coming forward, we would not be here. Thank you very much. I feel very humbled and privileged to stand before you on such an important day and on such an important event. We are here to celebrate the legacy of Dr. Ephraim Amu, a man whose contributions are unparalleled to our culture as Ghanaians, as he continues to show through his efforts. There's so much you can learn from it. Dr. Amu, we normally remember him as a composer, but he was more than that. He was an educator, a theologian, a visionary leader, a nationalist. And he lived a life of purpose, and he has left behind a blueprint for patriotism, self-reliance, deepened identity, national pride. He was unwavering in his commitment to Ghana's cultural identity and moral integrity. And all of these made him an extraordinary figure whose contributions even discerned his impact on music or education. And he went on to shape the national consciousness. Today, as we launch this book, we are not just recounting history. We are reclaiming a vision. This book serves as a reminder of his teachings, his guide to present and future generations. It urges us to honor the wisdom, sacrifices, and resilience of those who paved the way for our national development. Sometimes I just wonder, what was it like for him at the personal level in his quiet moments, when it's like you are running against the grain, but without that there'll be no change. He was a man of many parts, a man of many gifts. He was a cultural architect. He knew that our future depended on our identity, which at the time, currently, I lament that we don't even talk about it. We don't even have discussions of our identity and where we should be heading, where our children should be heading, followed by the grandchildren. And we know all the examples he has left from the review. We know the local languages he composed. What a man. His masterpiece, Yanara Assassini, again, is not a song only. It's a call to national consciousness, a call to action, a reminder to all of us to cherish who we are, to defend our land, to develop it to the interests of everyone. And today the words remain relevant to uphold the values of unity, of respect, of discipline, of patriotism, and of self-respect. His contributions to music are very well known, but along with the song, he carries the message. And the message is to advocate for a holistic education, the kind of education that nurtures intellect, morality, creativity, and above all, respect for human beings. We know his commitment to cultural preservation and self-reliance as the very foundations of life, as has been raised already. He wasn't a passive patriot. He was bold, he was deliberate, and he was transformative. He did not just talk about these, he embodied them and he lived them. His patriotism, again, was not just words. He took the necessary steps and practical ones to challenge the colonial status quo. By wearing his own cloth to church, he was just being himself. And to expect that that was an offense is interesting. But again, I ask myself, what have we learned from it? And I heard through the reviewer about his fabric that was woven. We live in a hot part of the country, and he wears cotton. What can be wrong with that? Sometimes I wonder if people like that were still alive, what would they say about us? Of all the examples they left, what have we done with them? I hear many people, especially the youth, talk to us about, oh, I want a role model. And I said, they are there. And he thought that education, especially which is a place where you nurture your human resource, whatever, must be the kind that leads minds to solve problems and not to become a burden on society. We need to promote ethical leadership to ensure that honesty, service to nation are prioritized and practicalized. We need to encourage self-reliance, equip individuals with various skills that will translate into productivity. And all of these he outlines in his life, and he lived them. He also knew that nation building, and the nation is all of us. So it's never left to only one wing of who we think we have become. It's everybody's duty, regardless who you are, regardless what you do. And everybody, as I keep saying, brings something to the table. We don't all have to bring everything, the same thing. Different talents are to be respected and encouraged. And of course, he lived discipline. He didn't, to the priests, he didn't preach at us to be disciplined. He led the example. And if today we face new challenges and opportunities, and even challenges and so on, we can ask ourselves if we are upholding the values of integrity and service. Are we truly embracing our identity in the way Amu envisioned? Sometimes we may say that, oh, we didn't know any better, but we have examples, at the very least, in the author we are celebrating today. And his confrontation was on ways in which Christianity alienated us from who we could be. And that was why he challenged the colonial interpretations of faith and of contextualized Christianity. He spoke to the hearts of all of us in languages we understand. And everybody knows I've been very, very passionate about the use of our languages in teaching our children. They don't have to spend so many years trying to understand English before they begin to learn. We already have set them back. I know it's a dialogue that needs to continue, and I urge all of us, our revered priests and our traditional leaders, to support that. And we know that even as a church, broadly defined, grows and expands and so on, we can never escape the example of our celebrant tonight. He was open to other cultures, but not in ways that would defray his own. And this is something which says the global world, or whatever we want to call it. We need to ask ourselves, where are we in that group? Are we part of it? And if so, in what way? He shows that the way in which we can be part of the human drive. And he was not one of the people who was happy or contented just to speak about progress. Again, he lived it. And his commitment, which is unwavering to this country called Ghana, lays in the way he carried himself, in the lessons he taught, in the music he composed, and in the way he related even with himself before going out to others. His vision for Ghana, where people worked hard, honored their culture, upheld discipline and integrity, is something we can all walk away with. And weak as we are, so try to emulate them. Madam Chairperson, today we stand as a nation at the crossroads of development. But we need to ask ourselves again. We have examples before us of national pride, self-sufficiency, discipline, sacrifice to embody as part of the building blocks. For far too long, we have allowed aspects of our own culture to be seen as obstacles. At many fora, have raised the point, everybody tells us the negative aspects of our culture. I believe we all know that. It almost became a refrain. And I asked myself, will somebody talk about the positive aspects of our culture? So we all live thinking that we don't have anything worthy. We need to reverse that dialogue and ensure that yes, we have challenges, but we've also had successes. We have had successes embodied in people like Ephraim Amu. Otherwise, it looks like they didn't do anything. If we are not doing anything, let's accept it and change our ways. So this book is more than a collection of stories or letters or sermons. It is a living document. When it is committed to truth and service, can shape the destiny of a country, of a nation, in a very positive and lasting way. Amu has shown us that we don't have to wait for external forces to validate.
Ghana will take the set copy, and you are buying it for the check, not for yourself. So the money has to be anointed. So let's take it one by one. First copy is gone. Second copy is the vice president. Actually, but you are not yours. You are not yours. So, okay. So the second guy doesn't want to respect the chair, so he took it for 8,000. The other one to complete it. So he's taking the fourth copy. Wonderful. So first copy by our chair, second copy by the vice president, third copy by Alessandra, fourth copy to Chris Raindor.
February 11, 1987. For peace to prevail in the Saka village, I forbid the establishment of any other Christian church than the Methodist Church and the Church of Pentecost, both of which had already been established there for years. In the event of a deliberate defiance of this warning, I shall be compelled to take every necessary step to effect compliance. Faithfully yours, Ephraim Amu. And then a transcript of a letter from Pauli to Ephraim Amu. My dear Kwaku, please allow me to express myself frankly on a subject which has been worrying me immensely. It is about yesterday's tribal drumming display. I enjoyed it immensely from many aspects. There was some attempt at getting distinctive dancers. Our imperfections are also significant. They warn us that we have a long way to go. But there was one false power which is inexcusable. The dance is a traditional dance. It is a state dance. Our first duty is to learn it in its purest form. Any reforms can come when we have mastered it thoroughly and when we know its true values.